Good evening, everyone. If you are watching after the fact, then please feel free to skip ahead to qualifying as we get the rest of the stream set up. I think we've got everybody in already. Timestamps will be down in the description below, so you can feel free to skip straight to either the race or qualifying. But we will be with you very, very shortly.
I'm gonna tell everyone to ready up if you're sorted, Sumo.
Yeah, sounds good to me. You know what, I'll ad-lib the rest of this. I'll get my thumbnail sorted though.
Hello, Lifeboat.
What is it?
Just what Muhuti just put in chat.
Oh, brilliant. But anyways, good evening everybody and welcome back to APPF1 Tier 2 for tonight's dose of racing action. I'm SUMO, your commentator this evening, and joining me as always is the 4-time sprint champion, Ghost. How are we doing, buddy?
Hello, man. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be quite the spectacle, I think. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm just going to tell the drivers to make sure they stay within the pit entry line in the race, because it's very easy to not do that.
It certainly is. Tier 2 tackle the streets of Baku on the coast of the Caspian Sea this evening. This circuit is the longest street circuit in the Formula 1 calendar and is the second longest overall, beaten only by Spa. 20 corners form this 6.003 kilometre circuit that include a sector 3 which is flat out for the majority, an average time on throttle of 49% and an average lap speed of 110 kilometres per hour. With walls ever present, the drivers will have a hard time finding the limits with the risk of contact ever looming. Any thoughts, Ghost?
Yeah, this is a very difficult track. Sometimes it doesn't matter how poor or how strong you are on this track. Things can go wrong in ways you don't expect. Things can go very well in ways you don't expect. So I think there could be a certain degree of luck involved today. I wouldn't be surprised. But what is sure to happen is a very exciting race.
Yeah, I'm just noticing it's both McLarens are here this evening. That's nice to see. They've not been both here for the last couple of races. So welcome back, Yusuf, who's been away for a little while. Anyways, we'll carry on. Last week we were in Spa, where Krauser took his first win in Tier 2. Long time coming for the Red Bull driver. Pommy Alex finished second, grabbing another podium under his belt with this good season he's having so far. Femi Thrustmaster grabbed his first podium in his last race for this season, so he'll be back next season, we hope. But what a way to leave on a high note. Big news, LB could wrap up his season, his championship this evening. He needs to gain 6 points over his rival Pommy Alex in order to claim it for good, but he's got one hand firmly placed upon the trophy. Pommy Alex only sits 15 points away, so a DNF or a decent run for Pommy Alex could still see him in the run for points. Hartmann only sits 2 points behind Pommy Alex and is serving as a threat to the Australian and possibly to LB as well if all goes their way this evening. Krauser sits in 4th place on 84 points, followed by Muhiti on 80 points, with the battle in the midfield raging on as AlphaTauri looked good for 6th and 7th. The Constructors' Championship seems all but wrapped up as Red Bull sit on 193 points, a fair distance away from their next closest rivals, Ferrari. So I think tonight could be the night the Constructors is fully wrapped up if it's not done so already. Ferrari sit 1 point ahead of Williams after a decent haul of points last week. As they sit now in second place for the moment, with Williams sat in third and AlphaTauri sat just 4 points from the third place sitters on 145 points. So still a few things to play for in the Constructors' Championship, but it's all eyes toward the drivers now.
Absolutely right. Muhitti's just about to start his lap. I believe Tier has started his lap as well, so...
Yusuf is out on a lap as well.
Muhitti's just hit the wall at turn 2, so I don't interrupt. I don't know if he has any damage. We'll soon find out. He did say he was going to have a bad time today, but we'll have to see if that's true. It looks like he's okay for damage.
Yeah, Muhitti got all sorts of wrong out of turn 7 there, as he is the first out on a lap at the moment. I think he's closely followed by Krauser, but he's on an out lap right now. So it'll be Yusuf to keep an eye on as he comes down towards Sector 3 now. And I'm very, very quickly going to grab a drink.
Alright, well, in the meantime, I will focus on Yusuf as he's going to be the first to come across the line in that McLaren. He comes around the final, well, the final, in quotation marks, corner, because these two are technically corners, but they are flat out as the McLaren comes through. They can be difficult, those two corners, if you've got wing damage or if your tyres are a bit worn and you press the overtake button. Sometimes you can lose the rear end. But anyway, the McLaren comes over the line to set the initial pace, a 1:41.9. I think we'll see much faster laps than that over the course of this session. What's Tier going to be able to manage? He's going to come across the line with a 40.1, which is 1.8 seconds clear of Yusuf. Muhitti will be next, but he's into the pits, not happy with that lap, or I think he might well have gotten damage from those earlier collisions. LB will be next, a 40.8, he's 7 tenths off of Tier in the Mercedes, so not a good opening lap from the championship leader.
39.9 from Jamie F1, first driver to go into the 39s in that AlphaTauri. I say AlphaTauri tend to have incredibly strong qualifyings, but their race seems to lack a bit to the imagination, as JBS Steve proves my point, going a tenth faster than his teammate.
Absolutely. I have been told to keep an eye on JBS Steve today. I think he has the fastest time trial time of anyone in Tier 2 on this track, so he is one to watch, but that is a decent lap from him to put him into provisional pole. I think, as you say, Sumo, the AlphaTauris, they got the qualifying down, but the race, they don't have the consistency. JBSD, 2 DNFs this season of his own making, both of them. And he would be well in this championship fight if it wasn't for that. And Jamie F1 really struggled in Portugal. So, yeah, it's been a topsy-turvy season for the Red Bull sister team.
Yeah, it certainly has. Hello, Hartman in the chat. Nice to have you here, and good luck in the race. If he is racing, he is down there at the bottom of the timings at the moment. And a quick shout out to our sponsor, Positive Perception Media Design Products. If you like cool car liveries and livery designers who have a passion for motorsport, as we do over here in APPF1, then please feel free to go over to their socials and give them all the love and support as well. And head over to their YouTube channel to see some great motor racing content. They do GT cars. I think I've seen them do a few things at Le Mans as well. They do all sorts, and with livery designs to top it all off, as Krauser goes ahead of his teammate on a 40.3. And also make sure you have subscribed to the channel if you've not done so already, and left a like to not miss out on any of the Tier 2 Championship and any of the other content coming up. We're coming up to our summer break with the F1 2022 already being out for those on the Champions Edition, so it's not too
long. Sorry to interrupt you, Sumo. Just went straight into the wall at turn 3 on his outlap. Look, completely lost his front wing. He'll be heading back to the pits.
Yeah, and he comes. I think he was on an in-lap anyway.
An outlap, so...
Yeah, there we go. Muhiti and Pomialek now on outlaps, so getting themselves a nice clear track, which is a good thing to do around this circuit. Lalo Mado's out on circuit as well. A horrendous race for him last week. He was running well up on the podium places and then had a huge crash toward the end, and it looks like he's missing a front wing. I think that was... Oh, I was looking at Little Manny Man. That's what I was looking at.
Yeah, Lalo Mado just came out the pits and then immediately broke his front wing.
Oh,
so
and he's done a Seb Vettel. It's gone into the barrier, or a Lance Stroll. I mean, they both did it.
Yeah, well, at least he's still in the session.
Let's run on board with Muhiti. Muhiti's on a quick lap at the moment, coming through the chicane that begins sector 2 down towards turn 7 in the infamous castle section.
Yeah, a bit of a squirm out of turn 6, I think that was, as he comes to the castle section. Very tentative through the castle section. Very, very tentative. A lot more time to go through that, and invalidates on the exit. He's going to be furious with that. That must have been by about an inch. So he will be going again. And still no time on the board for the Turkish driver as he lets the Mercedes go through. He's got to be careful not to get disqualified for stopping on track as well.
Yeah, we'll go to the other side of the Ferrari garage as Pomialek now starts the lap. And what is it you need to do then, Ghost, to get a good lap time around this circuit?
You've got to know which curbs you can take and which ones you can avoid. You have to avoid. You've got to get as close to the ones you have to avoid as possible. So Pomialek, here he goes. He's coming up to this corner. You've got to get right next to the wall here. He doesn't. He's gone very wide. And you've got to avoid that curb. He just about does. To get the fastest time, because if you go over that curb, you lose so much time. Comes through here, you've got to completely cut that corner. And Pomialek definitely could have gone a bit more to the inside there. Castle section, you've got to be brave and throw the car through. And then here, second gear all the way through, cut that left-hander and get the best exit you possibly can without invalidating like Pomialek's Ferrari teammate just did. Comes down to the last few corners. Avoid that curb unless you want to be brave and go for the esports line where you just go straight across it. And now to the final corner, again another one to avoid, and then just flat out all the way to the line, hug the walls. But yeah, I think in general you've just got to be brave and you've got to be perfect, and that's not perfect from the Australian. But yeah, this track can be harder than Monaco at times just because of how long it is to get a good qualifying lap. Because Monaco, Pomialek goes top, as I say that, 39.6, brilliant lap from the Australian, it turns out. But yeah, as I said, Monaco's a short track. It's over quickly. There's not too much to do, as it were. As opposed to Baku, it's more of an endurance lap, as well as the close quarters of somewhere like Monaco. So it's very, very tricky.
Yeah, certainly so. And even though Sector 3 looks easy, it's very easy for the car to get all out of shape if you get those corners wrong. I say corners, they're more sort of kinks in the straight. But yes, it's an incredibly long circuit, and it's very easy, especially if you make a mistake, you're going to pay for it throughout the rest of the lap if it's early on or so. But if my sources are correct, I heard Pomialek wipe the floor with everybody in the practice race yesterday, or whenever it was. But maybe it's just a bit of banter between the drivers. But keep an eye on that Australian, because he could be looking good for a win here as his teammate joins him in the top 4.
Both Ferraris were being very doom-mongery in the chat, I've got to say, earlier. They were both really saying that they're going to have an absolute disaster, and now here they are in P1 and P4 in qualifying. So maybe a little bit of exaggeration from the two, a bit of mind games with the rest of the grid, as Mr. J-Man comes up to finish his current lap on the medium tyres, interestingly. I'm fascinated to see who else tries alternate strategies. And Mr. J-Man comes across for a decent lap on the mediums of 40.9, but it's still not enough to gain him any places.
It's close. It's only a tenth off of LB's time at the moment, but could see him stay in the top 10 and maybe commit to that alternate strategy. But we'll see what the McLaren driver decides to do. Speaking of McLaren, Yusuf's come along and has had a little bit of a contact with the wall at the exit of turn 15. I'm not sure if he's got damage, but it's not going to help his lap time at the moment. But he's the next to come across the line.
I was just riding on board with Lalo Mado. He tries to take the esports line that I was talking about in the second to last actual corner on the track. It didn't go well, suffice to say. He was straight into the wall. So yeah, that's one you've got to take only if you've had a lot of practice doing that line. You have to do it many dozens of times in order to do it consistently. Yeah, if you haven't done that, you're just going to end up in the wall. And that has happened to Lalo Mado as he retreats back into the pits as Hartmann is about to finish his first lap of the session.
I couldn't quite see. He's not up on any times because this is his first lap, as you say. I'm not sure if my clock's wrong again. Mine's saying 3 minutes 47.
4 minutes 25.
Yeah, so my clock is still for some reason incorrect. I don't know why it's done that. Maybe it's because I'm the second spectator, but nonetheless, Hartmann puts himself up into P9. Not a great lap from the American, perhaps not enjoying this circuit so much.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think you might be right. It was a bit tentative though. Maybe you just wanted to get a time on the board as LB takes that line I was talking about earlier, completely cutting turn 7. And now into the castle section. Got to be brave, and he hasn't cut that corner at the end of the castle section. That's going to cost him. I mean, that cost you at least 2/10. I'm not going to lie, Sumo. So I don't know if that's going to cost him relative to the other drivers in Tier 2. In Tier 1, that would certainly cost him, as he just about snags the curb at I think that's turn 16, isn't it? And comes to the final braking zone. But it is a purple sector 2 by the looks of it. As he comes down to the final sector, so we'll have to see how close he is to pole.
Yeah, certainly is. Castle section, you really need to commit to all of the corners, especially the first little bit when you're weaving your way up through the castle. It's scary to do, but you can really take a lot of speed through there as LB goes P2 at 39.7, only a tenth, or no, not even that, probably about. Oh no, he's a bit more than that, I guess. But yeah, about a tenth away from Pommy Alex's time at the moment. But a strong lap from our championship leader.
Absolutely. Jamie F1 is half a tenth up through Sector 2, so he needs to nail these final 2 corners if he wants any chance of getting himself on the front row. Here he comes down the final straight. His fuel light is blinking red. I don't know if that means he's going to run out of fuel before the end of the lap. We'll have to find out. As he hugs the wall all the way to the line. DRS open and all the way down. What's it going to be? It's looking decent, but I don't know how good it is. Oh, it's a 39.4. It's much better. Clearly lost a lot of time in that last sector on his previous effort. And Jamie F1 goes into provisional pole.
Wow, decent lap from Jamie F1. He's not had the best of seasons. I think he was up in the championship in the early races, but a few poor performances really let him down this season. But I'm thinking, Ghost, I think AlphaTauri might just get themselves involved in the championship despite being out of it in terms of their drivers.
I think you might be right. The team standings, AlphaTauri are about 48 points down. But a disaster for Red Bull here, and it's not out of the question. And this is Baku. You can never predict what's going to happen around here. So I wouldn't put it past the Azerbaijani track to pull a surprise on this Tier 2 championship late on. Jamie F1 is retired from the session. He's crashed at the castle section, so he is not going to go any faster, which opens up the opportunity for everyone else.
God, that's the second time I've seen a McLaren. Oh, and I think Yusuf got a little bit scared there as he went through the castle section as he turned the corner to see the rear end of an AlphaTauri. There, I just sort of was riding along with him as he came up to it, and you could see the steering wheel going all over the place as he got all sorts of wrong, so that's affected his qualifying lap for certain.
Yeah, he's going to be annoyed about that. Lalo Mato is on mediums this time out. For some reason, the tower says he's on softs. He's definitely on mediums. I can see the yellow walls. He comes through. Is he going to take the esports line again? No, he's not. Not this time. As he goes around the corner the normal way and down through the final braking zone. He's down through, but he really smacks that curb. That's going to lose him at least a tenth, I reckon, at that final corner. Down through the final straight goes the Alfa Romeo. What's this initial time going to be on the mediums? Is he going to get another go? It's going to be very close. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just about gets across the line. He's going to have another go. He does. He's 2.8 seconds off pole, so he'll have one more attempt. And he'll be very glad to have got across that line just in time. Pommy Alex won't be going any faster either. He's in the pits.
Oh, Pommy Alex then having to settle for P2, but that could change. LB, he won't be able to set another lap time. Keeping an eye on JBS Steve. It's an AlphaTauri 1-2 for the moment. Mr. J-Man's invalidated his lap. I don't think Krauser's on a lap. No, Krauser's not on a lap for sure. LB's definitely not on a lap. Muhiti, I think he is on a lap. I think his last lap was affected by the crash Jamie F1, the same as the Yusuf ahead as well. So Yusuf might also be on a lap. I think he came into the pits though. No, he's not on a lap. He's on a slow one. So we'll keep an eye on Muhiti then, who's 3 tenths. No, not Muhiti. Wait, is Krauser on a lap? It says he's finished, but
it says he's finished. Yeah.
It was 3 tenths up on his previous time.
Muhiti 6 tenths up. 6 tenths for the Ferrari.
This looks like a decent lap. I'm not sure if it's going to be pole position, but he could get himself on the front row just there, unless he can find the time in this final straight. The only car left out on circuit making a lap other than Lalo Mato, who's the next one to cross the line. 39.6. It's close. It's exactly a tenth of a second, and he goes 600 thousandths faster than his teammate. How about Lalo Mato? A second up on his time. Could see him into the top 10 on that alternate strategy, and it does into P9. So the alternate strategy it is for that Alfa Romeo. And I think that is a lot in qualifying. Yusuf's definitely not on a lap. No, it was weird because it was showing Krauser as being 3 tenths up on his previous best.
That's odd.
Must be a glitch.
Yeah, must be. Well, Jamie F1 gets what I believe is his first pole position of the season. So great effort from the AlphaTauri, and it will be an AlphaTauri 1-2, followed by the 2 Ferraris, and then followed by the 2 Red Bulls. So it's a team game today, Sumo. I'll let you go through the grid.
Yeah, it certainly does. Jamie F1 put in a great lap to see himself on the pole position for the race this evening, with his teammate following closely behind. Muhiti and Pommy Alex line up on the second row, with the 2 Red Bulls locking out row 3. Tier sits in P7 with Mr. J-Man P8. Lalo Mato and J-Man opting for the alternate strategy. Hartman around for the top 10 with Yusuf, Little Manny Man and QB rounding off the rest of the grid. LB says he could be in a bit of trouble here in the live chat, and he could be very well right. He's in the mix. He's in amongst the pack for the start of this race, which, if there's any chaos at turn 1, could be bad. And I'm not liking the look. Nobody's told me there's rain, but it could always happen. Those clouds do look a little bit menacing. There could be some precipitation hiding up in the heavens, but we'll wait to see what happens.
Well, realistically, all LB needs to do is finish the race, get some points on the board. He's 15 points clear with our APPF1 point system, 20 for first, 19 for second, and so on all the way down. Even if he finishes last today, and Pommy Alex finishes first, he'll still be 3 points clear in the championship, which is not a position he will want to be in just before the final race, but he'll want to keep his lead a bit better than that. But it's safe to say, as long as he finishes, he's not in danger of losing that championship lead.
Yeah, certainly. As long as he doesn't do what he did last week at the end of Spa, crashing mere inches before the line, he should be absolutely fine. But AlphaTauri definitely getting themselves involved in this championship, and I'm not sure they're out of the constructors at the moment. I don't think so. So a decent race here could see them. It's quite a scrap between Ferrari, Williams and AlphaTauri, who all sit within 6 points of one another. So this could get quite dicey. But Williams are... And there's only one Williams in the session at the moment. So I think Williams might struggle to keep hold of that top three, unless there's any incidents that mean cars are out of this race. But as far as your constructors go, it's AlphaTauri versus Ferrari for what is going to be second place.
Yeah, realistically, a double Red Bull DNF would be needed for anyone to challenge for the constructors, because they are a very long way ahead. But it's not impossible around Baku, so don't count it out. But yeah, as you said, Sumo, if you get caught in the mid-grid, you can easily get caught in incidents at turn 1. I know very well, better than most, because it happened to me on Friday. I had a decent start, got through turn 1, didn't cause any trouble, and there was a crash directly in front of me, and I was the only driver to get damage. So it's, sometimes your luck is out on tracks like these. And LB will be hoping that that doesn't happen to him today, as Jamie F1 nearly goes into the wall.
Yeah, he certainly does. Mr. J-Man and Lalo obviously qualified on the medium, so they will be starting on those tyres, opting for the alternate strategy. With Yusuf opting for the medium tyre as well, sat in a strategical pole position, so keep an eye on that second McLaren there, the one with the yellow T above its airbox. Is that what it's called? It's the airbox intake, I think. Maybe. The top bit.
Remember. The top bit. The T-cam.
I don't know. Either way, we are lining up on the grid, and the AI should be taking over about now. So we'll wait for our drivers to start lining up on the grid. Krauser said that the AI took over on at the end of that qualifying session and gave one of his rivals a slipstream. And I'm assuming that was Muhiti. So Muhiti got very lucky there with a little slipstream from an AI Red Bull.
Indeed, yeah. That would have been the end of the session being reached while Krauser was on an outlap, which would have caused that, because it just immediately takes over with AI. But the race is about to get underway. The lights are about to come on.
There we go then. 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights here in Baku for Tier 2, and away they go. It's looking like a decent start from the Ferrari of Pommy Alex, already getting himself up ahead of his teammate at the moment. The AlphaTauris have got away well, but out of turn 1, JBS Steve sees himself get a poor exit. Pommy Alex down the inside, he's squeezed to the inside, left just enough space as they don't make serious contact between the two, but that was very, very dicey into the second corner there.
Yeah, there's been fantastic racing in the mid-grid as well. I was riding on board with Tier. He had a decent start, but Lalo, Mano, what a start for the Alfa Romeo, up 3 spots already.
Hartman's round.
Is that Hartman gone? Yeah, it is. Along with Mr. J-Man. I don't know if there was contact there or if just an unlucky coming together.
What happened there? They've just come together. I'm not sure what happened at all. It looked like Hartman brake checked him.
Okay. Well, I think the stewards will be having a look at that, if so. But yeah, Lalo Malo with a fantastic start in the Alfa Romeo, but he's going to struggle to hold on to it with those medium tyres early in this race. As little Manny Man gets past Yusuf at a very odd place. I think
Yusuf's got damage.
Yusuf no wings, so he's going to be heading to the pits. Down to P11 he goes. As Tier's gone, oh no, on lap 1! He's just gone a bit too much of the curb, maybe pressed his overtake button in the wrong place, and he's in the wall, out of the race.
VSC.
Oh no, and Yusuf's gone as well, he's done a Vettel. I rode on board, that's the second car I've just rode on board with both of them. I went to Tier, he immediately crashed. I went to Yusuf, he immediately crashed. I think I need to stop riding on board with drivers soon.
Yeah, certainly. That's 2 DNFs in the space of 2 corners. And quite the unusual incident between Hartman and J-Man. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. We've got a safety car now. I can have a little look back on it to try and give some first
Muhiti's in.
response.
Little Manny Man also in. A few drivers taking advantage of this early safety car to get some fresh tyres on. I don't know if it's the right decision at this point, though. It's going to be interesting. Muhiti's gone out on... Which tyres has he gone on? Hang on a second. The medium tyres, so he's not going to get to the end on those. He will have to stop again, but he's hoping that this advantage from the early safety car, the free pit stop, is going to serve him well. But honestly, I'm not sure. I think staying out might have been the better choice here, because Muhiti is now going to find himself on a far inferior tyre to the cars in front of him, at least for a few laps. And he's going to lose a huge amount of time, and then he's going to have to stop again anyway. So, yeah, it's I don't know how this is going to play out. Another safety car would work perfectly for him, but at this point, it's looking a little bit dicey for the Ferrari.
So it seems what happened was J-Man sent it on Hartman, which caused the initial contact between the two. Then what I'm seeing on the replay, I managed to catch it. Whether Hartman either lost the rear and slowed down and J-Man went into the back of him, or he brake checked. My initial thoughts is it's a brake check from Hartman in response to being sent, but I think that'll be something for the stewards to scrutinise in the coming in the coming days.
Indeed. Put it this way, it wouldn't be the first time. So we'll see. We'll make a decision on that if it gets reported. But Mr. J-Man, thankfully, is still in the race. He's on the mediums at the back of the grid, and we'll be hoping for a better restart to this race, a fresh start for the McLaren. And same for everyone else who got damaged. But yeah, Yusuf and Tia just both losing it at similar points on the track, one after the other. Tia just in the middle of the kink. So I think if I was to bet on it, Sumo, I'd say that he pressed the overtake button in the middle of the kink, and that caused the car to go, and then just turned a little bit too hard, and he was in the wall. And then Yusuf just completely locked up into turn 16 and went straight into the wall.
Yeah, he should have got eased off the power and broke very early for that corner to make it round without crashing. But did anybody come in for a stop towards the front? Muhiti did, so he's opting for a bit of a gamble here, as everyone else has stayed out. So Muhiti will lead the race once the others come in, likely. But it's an interesting decision from that side of the Ferrari garage.
Yeah, I was just saying while you were looking back at the replay, Sumo, it seems like a dodgy decision to me. Because he's going to be on the inferior tyre for a few laps at least. And then, so he's going to lose time initially. And then when everyone else pits, sure, he'll have a temporary advantage, but then he's going to have to pit again anyway, and everyone else will have a massive undercut. He will be able to go on the softs at the end, in theory, but even then, that's a long slog for the mediums, even with putting the softs on the end at the end. I'm not sure about that decision. And he's not going to even have an advantage over all of the cars in front of him, because Lalo Mado started on the mediums. So Muhiti is basically, what he's done is he's transitioned over to Lalo Mado's strategy, but lost 3 places doing it.
Yeah, certainly so, and they need all the points they can get, Ferrari, for this constructors battle at the moment. But LB getting not too bad of a start. He's up in P4 at the moment, so I think up ahead of his he got up ahead of his teammate and Pommy, if I'm not mistaken. Not Pommy, Muhiti. That's what I meant to say. But the 2 championship rivals very close together.
Absolutely, one after the other. And Ferrari and Red Bull will continue to battle. The two AlphaTauris still 1 and 2 for now. Safety car will be in this lap. Yeah, keep an eye on Lalo Mato, I think, Sumo. He's doing well on those mediums. He had an absolutely monstrous start. And he's in a really good position here. So Alfa Romeo, one to watch.
Yeah, he's certainly got some pace behind that wheel, but it was a sad ending at his race at Belgium. It's all eyes to Jamie F1, who is your provisional safety car until it starts to pin into the pit lane, where he has from then to the line to restart this race. And the safety car is just about to head on in now. So he's gone. There he goes, fairly early into the straight. And it looks like Pommy Alex has got a good restart. He's all over the back of JBS Steve. JBS Steve defends the inside line. Pommy Alex forced to go a long way round. And he does, outbraking that AlphaTauri, getting it stopped. That was a great move. And puts a car in between him, LB and himself. There's a bit of jostling for position here. Lalo Mato tries to go all the way around the outside at turn 2. And they're going to continue to go side by side. No, LB gets just ahead. Now Krauser looks to get past that Alfa Romeo. Going around the outside of turn 3, they're going to go side by side. They go. Lalo Mato last of the late breakers. Very good job not to go into the back of LB there. Lalo defending that position exceptionally well.
That was insanely brave from Lalo Mato. He could easily have ended his race and LB's right there, but brilliant racing from him. He hasn't been here for long, Sumo, but he's really established himself in Tier 2 already, and he's definitely one to keep an eye on for next season. For sure. Muhiti still struggling to get his way through, but he's keeping with Krauser for now. Hopefully he can stay there for his sake, as LB looks to try and size up a move on JBS Steve as soon as possible.
I'll tell you, there's one thing that I like to do around this circuit is I find myself to be very comfortable with the castle section, and a lot of other drivers don't seem to be very comfortable going through that part at all. So that's where I try and gain my time and gain my advantage, and it's good because if you can gain that time from there up towards the DRS zone, then it's almost a definite overtake, as LB and Lalo Mato look to be sizing up moves. This could be a 3-wide situation down towards turn 1 as Steve in. JBS Steve has peeled into the pit lane, so LB's left to defend Lalo Mato, who's a bit too far back for the move at this point for now. I think Krauser and Muhiti's in again, so that's a strange call. Muhiti could have damage here on that Ferrari, and he does, front ring damage.
Oh no.
Another set of mediums.
I would wager that that was his own doing, Sumo. He was hitting the wall quite a lot in qualifying and getting away with it, and I think he has not gotten away with it this time. Hartman's already up to P6, by the way, as is Mr. J-Man up to P7. I think that's just on pit stops. Yusuf has left the session. He was already out, so an unfortunate end to his race. But Hartman now sizing up the move on Lil Manny Man in the Aston Martin. He needs to get past as soon as possible. He's 3 seconds down on the top 4, so if he wants to catch back up, he needs to clear this green car in front of him.
Yeah, he certainly does, but I think if the stewards have anything to say about it, he might find himself in a bit of trouble as he gets a bit wrong trying to get past that Aston Martin in a place where it's probably not going to happen for the American at the moment. Lalo Mato doing well to keep with LB for now.
Lil Manny Man just did exactly what Yusuf did. He's not out of the race, but he's lost his front wing. Just locked up at turn 16, and that lets through Hartman and Mr. J-Man at the same time. But here comes Lalo Mato on LB, possibly.
I think that's 15, that corner there, Ghost, and then 16's the last actual corner, with 17, 18, 19, 20 being the final 4.
Gotcha.
20 being that kink, just where the DRS zone activates. But anyways, Lalo Mato's still keeping LB honest, and Pommy Alex that was a great move strategically from the Australian. That's putting that car in between himself and LB, and with JBS Steve coming into the pit lane, has given Pommy Alex the gap he needs to keep LB out of his DRS and start trying to chip away. But LB looks to be getting back in slowly. He's not out of the woods yet, but he's certainly got the upper hand for now.
Yeah, it's very close between the two championship rivals, but Lalo Mado's definitely going to put a spanner in the works here. Those medium tyres serving him very well at this point in the race. And he's definitely, I think, got the pace on the Red Bull. It's just getting past. It's going to be tricky. I do have Tia in my chat, by the way, Sumo. He said he's got no idea how that happened. Vardy was in chat lamenting Tia's DNF. Yeah, Tia said he's got no idea what happened. He wasn't even going that fast. Just the car just started sliding, and then he was gone. So yeah, an odd one for Tia, unfortunately. But it's always a shame to see him out of a race. But it's becoming a little too common for him this season. Hopefully, he can have a better time on the next game.
Yeah, certainly. So it'd be interesting to see where people are on the next game. As I mean, LB would be due a move to Tier 1, but you never know. He could find himself in Tier 2 once again as he peels into the pit lane for his stop, first and probably only stop of this race, which leaves Lalo Mado to go on the attack now, promoting Hartmann and J-Man up into P4 and 5.
Yeah, he wants that undercut, LB does. And I think it could work for him as long as he doesn't get stuck behind anyone. JBS Steve, you can see how much pace those mediums have. And he's gotten past LB, in fact, as LB could be under pressure from QB nearly. It was very close. So LB nearly had a car between him and the AlphaTauri, but he's just about behind JBS Steve now and hoping to match the pace of that AlphaTauri that's just set the fastest lap.
Yeah. As I said again, as I'll keep saying, these AlphaTauris getting themselves involved in this championship, which could have major results if it was to go in any certain way. But the cars ahead are still yet to stop. We've got still Jamie, Pommy, Alex, and Lalo are still yet to make a stop. Hartmann and J-Man have already stopped, so they'll take the lead once they come in. But I think they'll have to stop again after their unscheduled stops early in this race, and LB looks much quicker out of the castle section than JBS Steve does.
He certainly does. He's got a lot of pace in that Red Bull. Championship leader is coming alive in this second phase of the race, it seems, and he needs to hope that that undercut is going to work. I think it will work. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get ahead of Pommy Alex after the latter comes into the pits, but Pommy Alex stays out. Jamie F1, the race leader, comes into the pits. Where is he going to exit? Here comes JBS Steve and LB, but where will the former race leader be out of the pits here? LB's got the DRS. Is he going to make a move on JBS Steve as they come down to turn 1? It looks like it. Round the outside he goes. Who's going to come out on top? JBS Steve doesn't brake late to try and hold LB off. And there is Jamie F1 just in front of them. So he takes the net race lead, but LB on the charge at the moment.
This is like quite a scrap going on. LB now finds himself in between the two AlphaTauris at the moment. But JBS Steve, that undercut not quite paying off for him, as LB's found his way past at the moment. I'm not sure if it was an undercut or just a unplanned pit stop with some wing damage. I didn't quite see the stop itself. But Pommy Alex now and Lalo Mado, the only ones still yet to come in. Be interesting. I think Pommy Alex might come into the pits this lap. Maybe a little bit later. He might run a bit deeper into this race, I think.
I think I did see the stop, and I don't think JBS Steve had any damage. So it's just a pace deficiency at the moment for the AlphaTauri. He hasn't got the race pace that his qualifying pace seemed to suggest. Mr. J-Man lets them all through very sportingly. He doesn't have to do that.
He's got no wing. He's got no choice.
Oh, he's got no wing. That's why. But JBS Steve wasn't sure, so he's lost a huge amount of time there, the AlphaTauri.
Lalo Mado on the move for the lead here. It's Pommy Alex, I think, is peeling into the pit lane, so it's not too interesting. I just saw the gap going down, but Pommy Alex in. So where is that Ferrari going to come out? You can see they've just entered the DRS zone now. Have Jamie F1 LB and JBS Steve. And in comes the Ferrari to the pit box.
He's going to be behind all of them, I think, Sumo.
Yeah.
LB sets the fastest lap. He can't make a move on Jamie F1, but Pommy Alex is going to exit the pits behind even JBS Steve. So that is the power of the undercut. Pommy Alex has not played this strategy well at the moment. And he's going to be hoping for another safety car to close up the pack, because he is 2 seconds down on JBS Steve, who is a further 2 seconds down on his championship rival. So, yeah, Pommy Alex has really lost out to the undercut.
Yeah, I mean, the one advantage Pommy will have is he's got the advantage of clear air over his teammates, over his rival. And LB looks like he's going to have quite the challenge on his hands from Jamie F1, who's not going to yield this place quickly.
Yeah, absolutely not. And LB's got to be careful with cutting turn 7 there, because he could end up with a 3-second penalty if he's not careful. I wouldn't be surprised to see 1 or 2 of those before the end of this race. They can be very easy to get.
Pommy Alex is out!
Oh no! Baku! It's the castle section. He's gone. He's out the race. And that could be championship over. Hartman is still running in P2, but it's another safety car. And it's disaster for the Australian. He is now out of the championship fight unless LB DNFs. But, I mean, effectively, that is it for the Australian. He's gone.
No words.
Unbelievable.
Does play well into the hands of Lalo Maddo, but he's not come in. Hartman has come in, so he'll see himself elevated up in this race, and I reckon he can just go on another set of mediums and go to the end here. Could Hartman in that Williams, so but absolute commiserations, and I am stupid moment at Castle Section strikes again.
Absolutely. That is race over for Pommy Alex. And yeah, a lot of cars coming into, well, I say a lot. QB and Muhiti both into the pits. Muhiti's 3rd pit stop of the race, which he's not going to be happy about. And he's going to drop to P9. LB running in P3, the championship leader. It's suddenly gotten a lot better for him. Lalo Maddo now leads the race. And yeah, well, that's Baku for you. These things can happen.
Pommy Alex says he's never DNF'd here, but he's added 1 to the tally now. And he says the 1 stop was on. It's such a shame for Pommy. That's huge implications for the championship. And as Ghost rightly says, LB's got a DNF now. So I did try and activate the commentator's curse earlier in before the session. Saying that LB is going to have a absolutely flawless session and get himself a clean sheet and all that. He's so far not done that, so perhaps he's got some anti-cursing protection or something that's keeping him from any malicious racing entities.
Maybe so. I'm just gonna mute myself for a little bit, Sumo. I need to figure something out quickly, so
yes.
Sorry, gotta leave you for a sec.
Not a problem. Just another time for a quick shout out for our sponsor, Positive Perception Media Design Products. Please do head over to their socials and over to their YouTube to see all of their racing content and their awesome livery designs that they make. I really do enjoy seeing what they come up with on their socials whenever it's in my newsfeed, and I'm sure you guys will as well. So please do make sure to head over there and give them all the love and support you show us here, and make sure, if you have not already, to like the stream and subscribe to the channel. All the support does go a long way. We're still on the road to 100 subscribers. We're still 15 subscribers away. So if you can give me a little click on that subscribe button, that would be really, really cool. And head over to Ghost channel as well. Make sure you give Ghost some support as well. We've got the onboard stream over there, so you can see the onboard perspectives of our drivers in the race at the moment. so you can see a bit more than just the broadcast. But anyways, I think the safety car should be coming in this lap, I'd imagine. We'll keep an eye on that. I think Lalo Mato has made a little bit of a mistake not coming in during that safety car. Could have maybe put on a set of hards to go to the end. That would have been probably his best bet, because he's going to lose out places in the safety car again. There's always been a barrier which turns into an advertisement border section on the left. I'm not sure. I mean, castle section looks pretty similar to me. I'll ride more with Lalo as he comes through it. It all looks... all looks fairly similar. I mean, I found that with the castle section, don't follow the racing line at all. What you want to do is you want to try and cut over that curb on the inside as much as you can dare get away with. Really sort of do all of your braking before you have to turn, and then use the momentum you have left to then power yourself up the first part. Get back on the throttle just ever so slightly. Oh, Lalo Mato's lost it on the safety car. He's spun the car and he's lost his front wing. That is an absolute tragedy for the Alfa Romeo, who's going to have to make an unplanned pit stop. And Jamie F1 now takes the lead in this race after that mistake from the Alfa Romeo.
I'm back, and yeah, I just about saw that at the end. JBS Steve has gotten himself a penalty. I think that'll be removed by the stewards as long as he doesn't pit again, but that's really unfortunate. He's been really screwed over by the game there. I think he's going to have to take that in the pits. So that's hugely unfortunate for the AlphaTauri, but yeah, Lalo Mato, did he take damage from that? Did you see, Sumo?
Yeah, no wing.
Oh no. Disaster for him then. He's into the pits. Jamie F1 is gone, so LB has been really caught out there actually. He's 6/10 down on the restart. JBS Steve not quite close enough to make a move, but LB under some pressure now.
Yeah, he certainly is. His AlphaTauris are going to give him a hard time throughout the rest of this race at the moment. With JBS Steve, I'm sure that penalty will be getting removed, as I think there was a lot of confusion once Lalo was shuffled down amongst the field, but that's ruined that Alfa Romeo's race, and it's another safety car comes out.
Yeah, it certainly has, and he's going to be kicking himself because he was driving so well so far this race, and to lose it under the safety car like that is, well, yeah, he's going to be absolutely furious with himself. Hartmann is just behind JBS Steve in P4 at the moment, nearly snags the wall on the exit of turn 7 as he comes now to the castle section. Yeah, the gap's spreading out a little bit, although Mr. J-Man trying to get past the Aston Martin of Lil Manny Man. He's on those soft tyres, is the McLaren, so he needs to clear this car as soon as he can.
He's found a way past QBV toward the back there, sees himself into P8. This race has not gone his way at all. Mr. J-Man still chasing Little Manny Man. He was much faster through the castle section, was the McLaren, and he's looking to set up this move in towards turn 1 at the moment. We've got no DRS, of course. We've not had 2 laps of green flag racing yet. So no DRS to help the drivers along, just the slipstream and the power of that engine. I think J-Man might just be close enough to make a move here into turn 1. It's going to be very close. He has a little look, sends it under braking. Little Manny Man does. Oh, he does hit the wall. Little Manny Man did great to see that one coming. I'm not sure if that McLaren has damage. Oh, that was so close. Little Manny Man brakes as late as he dared, got so close to the wall and so close to the back of that McLaren.
Great racing between the two. Good respect shown. It wasn't an egregious dive bomb, I have to say. He was entitled to do it. It's the sort of move you can make at turn 1 on this track, actually. You can go for a surprise move, and the other person has plenty of time to see it coming. So, yeah, a decent move from Mr. J-Man. Puts him up to P6, but he is going to have to pit again, don't forget.
Yeah, he certainly is. As he's run those soft tyres, which I'm don't think are going to make it to the end. I think he got away with that tap on the wall, seeing him come through castle section there, and he's pulled right away from little Manny Man, so he'll be chasing after Krauser now, who's 2.5 seconds up the road. But we've got ourselves a 4-car battle for the lead at the moment, as Hartman has stayed with JBS Steve, who's in turn stayed with LB, who's staying with Jamie F1 for the moment. So these guys fighting away. And don't remember, Hartman is in this championship hunt. So anything happens to LB and Hartman is all coming up in Millhouse for him.
Absolutely. He's Mr. J-Man's retired. Oh no, he's lost it. Out of the fight, the last kink, there's another safety car out. So that's going to close up the pack yet again. Hartman's going to be furious because he was just about to get past JBS Steve, possibly. But yeah, that's the third safety car of the day. Yeah, as you were saying, Sumo, Hartman is 17 points down on LB at the moment. So as long as he finishes within 4 places...
QB's out of the race!
How's he managed that?
I've just switched over to him and he's just gone into the wall in the exit of turn 1. Oh my word. I mean, Muhiti was saying it's going to be a DNF field race, and he's proven right so far with now 5 cars out. You don't see that from QBV at all.
I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. That's not something you see from QB. And wow, we need to stop cursing people, Sumo. As soon as we ride on board with them, they always crash.
Yeah.
So I think we should turn off the commentary stream and just let them race.
Yeah, I think so. It was literally the second I'd switched to QB, he was straight in the wall. So we're going to have a 3rd safety car of the evening already. Not a good look at the moment for much racing.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got 5 DNFs already. We're only halfway through the race, so could there be more drama to come? LB is going to hope not, because at the moment he is set to build, well, what would be a completely unassailable lead as long as he finishes the race next week. So, I mean, yeah, Hartman ideally needs LB to either crash or go to the back, and then Hartman needs to win to have any chance next week. Jamie F1 peels into the pits. LB stays out on those mediums. Is he going to go to the end?
Double
on those
stack
tires,
Alpha Tower.
Yeah, it is a double stack. So I wonder what tires they're going to go on. I'm guessing mediums. There's no way they'll take softs to the end. Yeah, absolutely not. Mediums for Jamie F1. I think it'll be mediums for his teammate as well.
See, Krauser jump the both of them, perhaps. Oh, it's good. No, he'll jump one, but not the other.
Yeah. He's jumped Steve. Steve's taken his 5-second penalty, which was fairly unjust to begin with. But at least he hasn't really lost much from taking it because of the safety car, and I think he would have come out behind Krauser anyway because of the double stack. So, yeah, a good time to pit, I think, for JBS Steve. I think he's made the right call there. But Hartman, I think, has the capability to go to the end. LB will struggle. 7-lap-old mediums, he's going to have to take them another 11 laps or so after the safety car comes in. That's 18 laps on the same set of medium tyres. They're going to be really struggling by the end, and he will have difficulty holding on to this lead, but more importantly, Sumo, for the championship, he could have difficulty controlling his car in the last few laps.
Yeah, he certainly could, and these safety cars, despite halting Hartman's progress, they are helping him in terms of that tyre life. But again, I think there's a threat of a major incident report looming over that Williams.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll focus on the race that we have at hand at the moment. Hartman will certainly need LB to DNF, but we'll see what happens. We are 5 cars down now, only 8 drivers left in this race. Certainly a race of attrition for our drivers. I think the safety car might be coming in next lap, so expect to see it stay out for the moment. But this is also somewhat... it's in. But it's somewhat helped LB preserve at least a little more life in those tyres, and LB slows right up and becomes the effective safety car while it finds its way back to the pits.
I have word from QB. He says, couldn't make the corner, just slid. I got confused because the game said I had made illegal overtakes as people pitted. So, yeah, just a bit of confusion for QB with Codemasters working their magic again. But a mistake from him and into the wall, a rare mistake from him. So, unfortunate to see him out the race, but we're about to get underway again. When is LB going to punch it?
It could be any time from now. The safety car is in the pits. So he's going to go fairly late, is the Red Bull. He's going to try and see if he can't catch Hartmann off guard. And there he goes, he's gone. Hartmann has stayed with him for the most part. He's lost a little bit of time, but he's got to think of those AlphaTauris behind him as well. We've got a decent start as well. Jamie F1 looking to challenge Hartmann already. We've got a yellow flag. That's Lalo Maddo round. He'll be in bits about that as this safety car brought him back into this race. And wonder if he's got damage. He has, front left end plate.
Ah, disaster for him. He was, as you say, back in this race thanks to the safety car, and it's lasted one corner. He's out of the race yet again. Muhiti's also dropped off, so I wonder if there might have been contact there. And the Ferrari's got damage as well, so yeah, unfortunate for the both of them.
No, that is a shame for them getting contact. That's going to see them way out of this race. Just 10 laps. Keep an eye perhaps on little Manny Man. He might have some pace in that Aston Martin on those soft tyres, which I'm certain will go to the end with them being as fresh as they are.
It'll be tight, Sumo. They don't last long. He's going to be really struggling by the end of the race. He'll have a temporary advantage for now, but I don't know how long it'll last. Hartmann has lost time to LB, meanwhile. He's already more than a second down, so LB is really put on the gas, and this is just indicative of LB's championship so far. I think, Sumo, he's just hit these purple patches exactly when he needs to find the pace, and that is why he's winning this championship, as well as people not being able to make it to races. But that's been the key to his races so far this season, as little Manny Man makes a move on JBS Steve.
Little Manny Man, he's not seen a lot of action in this race, but he's going side by side now. A drag race down towards turn one. Who would be the last of the late breakers here? Little Manny Man holds his own and goes right around the outside of JBS Steve and gets himself up into P5. A good move from the Aston Martin, but with a 5-second time penalty. Not sure, that might have been a safety car glitch or speeding in the pit lane. One or the other. I didn't see when it popped
Jamie
up.
F1 on Hartmann, down the inside he goes up to turn 3. So to interrupt you, Sumo. Hartmann leaves him room, and Jamie into P2, and he's going to be chasing after LB now. I think Hartmann might have thought, right, there's no point putting up much of a fight here because I'm not going to catch LB, so maybe if Jamie can catch him, put him under pressure, and maybe the Red Bull will make a mistake, because at the moment I'm not going to force him to do so. I think that's what's going through the American's head.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I think Jamie F1, he's on fresh tyres, so is the other AlphaTauri, but he's lamenting a bit further back behind little Manny Man, who is far off Krauser, so I think that other AlphaTauri is well out of this fight toward the front, with Hartmann peeling away from Krauser, who's doing his best to stay within that second gap at the moment, and maybe try and get in for some DRS. Down towards the first turn. I'm not sure it's been activated yet. We'll keep an eye on the backs of people's cars as they come through. Let's watch Krauser as he comes along. Maybe Hartmann actually. No, he's not close. Could be the end of this lap
that it gets enabled, I think.
Pretty certain that it will be enabled. We've not quite had 2 laps of green flag racing yet. We'll see, no DRS for the Red Bull, but that's that slipstream doing the Red Bull wonders for now, and Jamie F1 is caught up by 2 tenths already.
Yeah, JBS Steve trying to make a move on Lil Manny Man as well. I've noticed the Aston Martin is quick at a lot of areas of the track, but he is desperately slow in the castle section compared to the other cars, and that must be infuriating to be behind for any car that gets stuck behind him like JBS Steve is now, so he's trying to make the move before the castle section so he can get ahead, and he's made the move down the inside. Lil Manny Man will stay there though, try and go down the inside again, but he recognizes the game is up, and JBS Steve up to P5, but look how much time he's lost on the top 4. I don't think he's going to have enough time left in this race to gain that all back.
No, certainly not, unless he's really got some pace to unlock on those medium tyres for now. Jamie F1 slightly closer now. 1.4 seconds is the gap at the moment between P2 and P1. Hartman's fallen a little bit back from Jamie F1, not quite doing what he was hoping he could, and he's now caught himself under threat from the other Red Bull of Krauser, who could be in for a podium this evening.
Well, Manny Man got the castle section well that time, so maybe just a mistake from the Aston Martin, but it wouldn't be the first mistake he's made in the castle section from riding on board with him so far this race. He's going to have DRS, so JBS Steve going to be in a spot of bother here up to turn 1. But talking of who else is in a spot of bother, ISRR Hartmann is under pressure from the Red Bull.
Yeah, he certainly is. Krauser has got the DRS now. He's opened it and he's all over the back of that Williams. That's a cut and paste move right there. That's simple enough. Jamie F1 sets the fastest lap and Krauser swoops past that Williams. And Hartmann's best bet is to stay with Krauser as best as he can and get dragged along maybe towards this fight at the front, especially if Krauser's got some pace in that Red Bull to catch back up to the front runners. But already Hartmann dropping back. Something might be wrong on that Williams car, perhaps. Perhaps, not sure. Maybe the setup's not quite as good. Maybe he's not as good as at the track, at the drivers around him. But little Manny Man's doing a great job to stay with JBS Steve at the moment. I mean, he's got the tyre advantage as Muhiti sets the fastest lap. But, yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, it was a fantastic late braking from JBS Steve into turn 1, by the way, Sumo. Just about caught it. Little Manny Man was trying to go around the outside into turn 1, but Steve said none of that. And braked extremely late, got it stopped, and managed to keep the position. Little Manny Man with another mistake in castle section, and that's what we saw a couple of laps ago from him. 2 seconds down now. He's got himself a 3-second penalty as well, and I think the Aston Martin is just going to be willing this race to be over so that he can finish what would be still a strong P6.
Yeah, Hartmann is really struggling. He's dropped dramatically back from Krauser, and JBS Steve is now on the back of that Williams, and it's looking like he's going to make a move down into turn 1 here. He's close enough to do it. I think Hartmann is there's definitely something wrong. He's definitely not as quick as he feels he should be, and I think JBS Steve, they come down to the DRS zone now. DRS open, another clear-cut move. He gets straight past ISRL Hartmann and on his way to catch up to Krauser. So it's Red Bull versus AlphaTauri. What it's been for a fair few times in these races over the course of the season.
Just riding on board with the American, I think there's olive damage on that Williams because he is understeering like crazy through some of these corners. So I think perhaps there's damage and he doesn't realise it. Either that or he's just really struggling on these tyres. They have gone 9 laps, but LB has gone 12 laps on those mediums. He's going to the end and he's showing no signs of struggling. Jamie F1 is a lot faster, but you would expect that. He has been the faster driver so far at this race, and he's also on much fresher tyres. So I think Jamie F1 is on for the win here. Would it be his first win of the season? Let me have a quick look. It would indeed. He's had 2 podiums so far, but he's on for a win here, is the Brit.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's had a very up and down season, the same as his teammate, really. AlphaTauri have been hampered with DNFs and big mistakes in races which have cost them lots of points in this championship, and they should probably be a lot higher up, maybe even challenging those Red Bulls still win this Constructors' Championship, but they're going to have to settle for second. And with the commiserations for Ferrari and Pommy Alex, it could be all over. And I think LB, as long as he can survive the next 6 laps, I think this championship is his.
Absolutely. I mean, he just needs to gain 4 points on Hartmann for it to be mathematically his championship, but I think realistically, if he gets to the end, that is going to be GG. Little Manny Man into the pits. He is fed up of those soft tyres. He wants a fresh set, which means he could.
Jamie. He's looking up the inside, not quite going to go for it, but he's all over the back of that Red Bull, right up in his gearbox. Was the AlphaTauri. Looked like he was going to go for the move. He was not quite close enough, just by a few meters away.
Prediction coming, Sumo. I think LB is going to be very, very conveniently slow through this castle section to allow his teammate to close up to Jamie. Watch this. Here comes the Red Bull through the castle. Crozer gets a 3-second time penalty, though, so there goes that plan, if it was the plan. LB does seem to be pretty slow. Jamie F1's definitely not at full pace here. He's having to just stick behind the Red Bull, and Crozer has caught a second in that time, so there's definitely something going on there with LB. He's definitely trying to get his teammate into this battle so that he doesn't have to deal with the AlphaTauri alone, but I think that might be futile because Jamie F1 is practically pushing him through the final corner there. They come onto the main straight, and it's crunch time for Jamie F1. This is where he could make the race-winning overtake.
Those are some Hamilton-esque tactics there, going very slowly, allowing others to catch up. But here comes Jamie then, opens up the DRS. LB defends towards the inside, but I think it's pointless as Jamie's just swooped right past way before the corner and claims the lead of this race at the moment. LB will struggle to get that back, I think, as his tyres are almost twice as old as his rivals.
He needs a really good exit out of turn 2. It's decent, but I don't think it's enough. He's using the overtake. He's going to try his best to make a move into turn 3, but he's just not close enough, and the braking zone comes too soon. Jamie F1 takes the race lead, and I think that will be that, unless there's a mistake from the AlphaTauri driver, which wouldn't be the first time we've seen him make a mistake in a good position this season. But he's looking very good at the moment, is the Brit.
Yeah, he certainly is, but LB will do everything he can to stay with Jamie F1 if he can help it, I think. As long as he stays within that DRS, he's still within a shout of claiming the lead, but I think you can see him struggling already. That was a fair bit of oversteer coming through, understeer, sorry, coming through the castle section on that car. Not the grip he wants as he's coming through that very grippy section.
I think he is going to have the DRS, though. He's been driving very well through this section of the track to stay with the AlphaTauri. Jamie F1 might have thought that it was done and dusted. I certainly did. But LB still within a second, 0.6 of a second. That's definitely close enough to make a move with a straight this long. He's going to have the DRS up to turn 1. Is there a move from the Red Bull coming for the race lead? Crozer is 2.7 seconds back, so you can see how slow LB was going before when Jamie was behind, but there's just not quite close enough to make that move. Jamie with just enough ERS for now, but it's a 20% deficit for the AlphaTauri compared to his rival for the race victory today.
Yeah, it is. It's a slightly better exit from LB. He's got the DRS. This could be the move on. It is. He's going to go for it down the inside, side by side through turn 3. Jamie F1 keeps it there. That was very good racing between the two. They're going to continue to go side by side now in towards turn 4. Jamie F1 has the better line through that corner. LB has a little look toward the outside, thinks nothing of that though as they come through the chicane for the moment. That was some very close racing, very respectful between the two.
Brilliant racing between these two. Crozer has that 3-second time penalty, so as it stands, he's going to lose out on the podium to JBS Steve. But AlphaTauri will be hoping that it's going to be a 1-3 rather than a 2-3. If Jamie F1 can hold off the championship leader, LB looking to wrap up the championship today. As it stands, he wouldn't quite do it mathematically, but I mean, it's all but done for the Red Bull. He's been brilliant all season, and he's going to hope to cap it off by winning it with one race to spare, by winning this race. He's 0.6 behind. It's definitely within range if he can get a good exit out of here, and maybe up to turn 3 as well, because there's that ERS deficit between the two of them as well, about 20% in LB's favour. So here we go.
Here he comes, opens up that DRS. The closing speed is insane down this straight, and LB ahead. Oh, Jamie F1 brakes as late as he dares, gets it stopped and goes and defends that place. What a move, what a defensive bit of driving from the AlphaTauri.
Yeah, brilliant stuff, but he's had a bit of a shaky moment out of turn 2, and he's going to be under much bigger pressure up to turn 3. Here comes the Red Bull, switches to the inside, great move from LB. They're going to be side by side into turn 3, but LB's made the move. Jamie got it stopped, but he couldn't hold it round the outside. The Red Bull takes the lead back again, and the championship leader not done yet. He's on 8-lap older tyres. But that does not deter him. He is trying to get this race win. Jamie practically pushing him through. LB slowing down again to try and get Crozer in this fight desperately. And that is exactly what's happening. Look at that gap plummet down. Crozer's going to be in DRS range. JBS Steve is going to get in this fight as well. We could have a 4-way fight for the race lead at the end of this race, Sumo.
Are we sure we're not watching Abu Dhabi 2016 at the moment, because it's exactly what it looks like. But Jamie's really got some pace. He's all over the back of LB, really getting in his mirrors coming down towards turn 15 at the moment. We're going to have a 4-car fight for the lead in the last 2 laps.
It's absolutely going to happen. Jamie F1, he's right within the DRS range, 0.3 of a second. This move is inevitable. As long as he gets through these 2 corners. Yeah, he does. So here he goes. ERS is being deployed. He doesn't need it. He's wasting battery, Jamie F1 is. He's down to 20%. He doesn't need to do this. He's going to have the DRS anyway. Look at the closing speed, and he's going to be well ahead of LB before the corner, but he's wasted so much ERS to do it that he didn't need to. And Crozer is in this fight. JBS Steve trying to get in this fight, but he's lost out. 1.5 seconds back he is now. So 2 laps to go in this race. LB gets a good exit out of turn 2, and I think it's going to be a carbon copy of the previous lap. Here comes the Brit. Down the inside he goes. Jamie, is he going to try and hang it around the outside again? He does try and brake late, but LB cuts him off. Great racing between the two, and the championship leader is back into the race lead with Crozer right in this fight as well.
Yeah, certainly. So Crozer's now going to try and battle away with Jamie, perhaps, if he can. But Jamie's got a lot of pace in that car for the moment. JBS Steve's now got inside of this as well. Muhitti's out of the race.
It's in the pit lane. He's retired late enough just that he can be classified, but that he doesn't have to endure the torture of the last few laps, I think.
Yeah, it's been a horrible race for Ferrari. Wrong strategy call, traumatic crash for Pommy Alex, and that's a championship ruiner right there. And I think myself, I could certainly attest to a championship going wrong at this very track. And I'm sure you've got your own few battle scars, Ghosts, to attest to for championships, especially when we're talking about Tier 1. But anyway,
after last week.
Yeah, anyway, JVF1 coming up. He's a lot further back this time on this attempt. DRS open now. We'll have Krauser to contend with as well. Here comes Jamie, though. He's closing and closing and closing. He's going to be in the braking zone, this move, if any, but he's not going for it. He wants to get it done at turn 3 because then he can perhaps stay ahead, but it will be a drag race to the line between the two of them, if anything. Here we go then, out of turn 3. Decent exit for the AlphaTauri, and he's all over the back of that Red Bull. Doesn't have the chance to defend that inside line, so LB sticks to the outside, and I can't speak. Jamie F1 gets ahead of the Red Bull for the moment, and all he's got to do is stay ahead, but LB still got double the ERS deployment left than the AlphaTauri, so it's going to be a straight drag race to the line between these two, and maybe Krauser as well.
Yeah, but Krauser with that penalty, so he's kind of out of this. But LB, as you say, Jamie just, again, wasting ERS. That's been the story of this final stint. Jamie F1 just wasting the battery life. And it's gonna give LB the opportunity for the drag race to the line. As you say, he's gonna have the DRS. He's got way more ERS in the tank, but he's wasting it now as well to try and stay within range of the AlphaTauri. So now they're fairly equal, but now Jamie's wasting some, so it's all coming unstuck here. But for the two of them, they're desperate to try and get this race win, but LB, I think, is close enough. I don't think Jamie's got enough here. It's going to be a drag race to the line, but LB is going to have the DRS. He's got enough ERS to do it as well. Here comes the Red Bull. He's got the slipstream up to the line. Here they go.
They're going side by side. Jamie, he's in the slipstream. LB now. We're going to go side by side. This is going to be incredibly close, but it's not. LB's got ahead by about just a car length, and sets fastest sector 3 in the process as well, winning this race, and I think winning this championship.
Yeah, he's gained 4 points on Hartmann with that win, and the gap was 17 points. That means the gap is now 21. And with LB having the superior countback, that is the Tier 2 Season 4 Drivers' Championship for LB in the Red Bull.
Wow, it's been, I think, he's been here with us for, what, 1-2 seasons? And he's finally got that championship under his belt. That's been something that's he's been wanting to do. I think last season he said to me that he's going for the championship this season, but he didn't get it last time out. That was Tinos's championship to win, but LB finally gets it. So if I'll be,
it's 1 point for fastest lap, Pommy Alex.
Yeah.
1 point for fastest lap. So that means there's 21 points between them. But even if LB DNFs and Hartmann wins with fastest lap, Countback will secure this championship for the Red Bull. So it's over.
Wow. LB finally getting himself a championship, and I think that's both championships wrapped up today.
Yep.
So that's Red Bull constructors, Red Bull for the drivers. What an incredible season it's been, and we've still got one race left to go, remember, but it's all going to be for a bit of fun. And remember, there's still a raging battle in the midfield, especially between AlphaTauri, Red Bull and Williams, which I think AlphaTauri have the advantage in now after this race. But anyway, LB is now your Tier 2 champion for Season 4, and he also wins this race to top it all off with a very important move toward the end. Jamie F1 and JBS Steve line up on the podium alongside the Red Bull, with Krauser losing out because of that 3-second time penalty in P4. Hartmann comes home in P5, losing out on his chances of a championship, with Lalo Mado and Little Manny Man as your finishers, with Muhiti, QB, Mr. J-Man, Pommy Alex, Yusuf and Tyr not finishing the race.
What a race that was. 2/10 between the top two in the end, but LB, the ERS management, the experience, has won him this race and has won him this championship. So, I mean, he deserves it. He's been so consistent all season, you've got to say. He hasn't actually, contrary to popular belief, he hasn't actually been the fastest driver on the track in every race this season. But he's just been so consistent. He's always been there or thereabouts. And he's always recovered from anything that's gone wrong really well. And yeah, he's well deserving of the Season 4 championship. And that blue star will be permanently next to his name on all the APPF1 leaderboards from now on.
Wow, incredible stuff from Tier 2 here. It's been an incredible season with some incredible moments, and we've still got one race left to go, but our championships are now well, not over for the rest of the drivers, but are certainly over for Red Bull and LB. So that's a bit of pressure taken off of LB and Krauser, as the final race is in Brazil next week, for what will be hopefully an amazing way not only to wrap up the Tier 2 season, but to wrap up our APPF1 Championship season on the F121 game. We've had 4 seasons on this game with Tier 2, and it's been amazing from start to finish, and I'm so happy that I've been able to cover every single round when I have been able to.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been fantastic to watch. Tier 2 is always very entertaining, and the drivers we've got now are just so respectful and great drivers in general. So it's been great to see. We've had 4 different champions harass Season 1. A dominant performance from him it was. Bumblebee Season 2, after a battle with Madman Ollie Oliver that ended in huge drama at Monza, if you remember, Sumo. That was
Yes.
that was certainly significant moment in the history of Tier 2. And then Season 3, we had Tinoz, who just came out of nowhere, the dark horse of the season, and dominated the season in the end. And then Season 4, LB. It's been a long time coming, I feel, but he is now a Tier 2 champion.
Wow. Incredible stuff. Big... excuse me. Congratulations then to LB and to Red Bull for winning those championships. It's still all to play for in the midfield, so don't miss out on Tier 2 next week, where we go to Sao Paulo for what is sure to be a great season finale and a great way to see off F1 2021. Anyways, I'm going to wrap up now for this week. Please do make sure you go check out our sponsor, Positive Perception Media Design Products. We're really glad to have them on board as our sponsor for the Tier 2 Championship. So please do make sure you go and show them all of your appreciation by heading over to their socials and over to their YouTube to see all that they've got to offer, especially if you are as into motorsports as they are. Make sure you do go check out all of our APPF1 affiliates and give them all the support you can as well. Go over to Ghost Channel if you want to see some of the onboard action alongside the broadcast action over here on my channel. Make sure you've also liked and subscribed as well if you've not done so already. All the support is very much appreciated, and I'm 15 subscribers away from reaching that 100 goal. Thank you to everybody who was in the live chat this evening, and thank you to all of our APPF1 Tier 2 racers for this evening. Thank you to Ghost for being my amazing co-commentator for the last 3 seasons. Wouldn't have anybody else. But anyway, that's going to wrap everything up for now. I've been Sumo.
And I have been Ghost.
And we will catch you next week for the season finale of APPF1 Tier 2 Season 4. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye.